Audi R8, Nissan GT-R, BMW i8. These were the cheap supercars of this generation. But as they age and slowly lose their competitive edge, a new group of more attainable used exotics might be entering the market. Here are 5 modern supercars that might be next year's deal of a lifetime. They're not affordable yet, but over the next few years, depreciation could make them as attainable as today's GT-Rs and R8s. When Mercedes came out with the AMG GT in 2014, it stunned the world with a gorgeous exterior and an all-new 4-liter twin-turbo V8. Packing around 500 horsepower and an electronically limited top speed of 189 miles per hour, it was the German brand's direct assault on the Porsche 911. The front mid-engine platform was so good that it's now been adopted by the Jaguar F-Type and Aston Martin Vantage as well. And after driving or riding in all 3, I can confidently say this is some of the most fun you can have on this side of $1 million. Like the 911 it was intended to compete with, the AMG GT starts with a base MSRP of around $120,000. But unlike the high value retention of Porsche, used AMG prices have been declining at a pretty fast rate. With over 17,000 sold in the United States alone, and a second generation ready to add even more, the base-level AMG GT likely won't be considered a collector car for another few decades, and it's already possible to buy lightly used examples for less than $65,000. If that amount continues to decline as the car ages, it could become an extremely attractive price to unlock 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Another high-performance, front-engine luxury V8 is the Lexus LC 500. This car is often overlooked by the enthusiast community, since it puts more emphasis on luxury and comfort than performance. But it's still powered by an impressive 471 horsepower, 5-liter naturally aspirated V8. The LC really blurs the line between performance coupe and exotic supercar. With a 0 to 60 time of around 4.5 seconds, it may not be on the same level as a Ferrari or McLaren, but the styling and rarity of the car certainly give it the aesthetic of a much more expensive option. The LC 500 comes with unique exterior features like the mirror effect taillights and available carbon fiber roof, plus some incredible interior tech like the Lexus touchpad and LFA-inspired digital gauge cluster. The LC Inspiration series takes it a step further into the performance world with bumper canards and a carbon fiber wing. Now, the lower performance of the LC 500 also comes with a lower price, as the car starts at just under $100,000. But once again, used models are starting to hit the market at a greatly discounted price. The LC arrived at dealerships for the 2018 model year, meaning there's only been 5 years for the car to accumulate mileage and lose value. But there are already examples being sold for less than $60,000. In another 5 years, this futuristic V8 coupe could be as attainable as a brand new Corolla. While the 911 has typically held its value extremely well, the same isn't always true of its younger siblings, the Cayman and Boxster. Unlike the meager straight-line performance of early models, the latest generation of entry-level German engineering boasts a surprising amount of power. Base models are sold with a 2-liter turbocharged flat 4, though an upgraded 2.5-liter engine making 350 horsepower is also available. Despite having less cylinders than the outgoing 981 generation, the 718 is faster, with a 0 to 60 time of around 4 seconds. Not to mention, it's one of the few remaining enthusiast cars to still be offered with a manual transmission. The Cayman may not have the prestige of a 911, but I think with a little extra tuning, it could surprise you at just how capable these cars can be. Just take a look at the GT4 edition, which will slay hypercars around the Nürburgring straight from the factory. Whether you consider it to be a true supercar or not, the fact stands that it could be faster than one. For a starting price of about $70,000, the current resale value of $45 to $50K represents a 30% drop in just 6 years. Given some more time and mileage, and the modern 718 may not be that far behind the affordability of early generations. Just as the i8 became more affordable with age, BMW's M8 could one day be financially available to us proletariats. It launched in 2019 as the performance pinnacle of the 8 Series lineup, offering a twin-turbo V8 with up to 617 horsepower. This makes it one of the fastest cars on our list, with a 0 to 60 time of 3 seconds flat, good enough to keep up with nearly any modern exotic. It also comes with the benefit of a conservative exterior design, lacking both the oversized grills of the 7 Series and the controversial futurism of the i8. Auction data shows that the M8 has already started its decline, even during a period where the overall used car market has been increasing in value. Despite the MSRP of nearly $140,000, the 3-year-old M8s are already selling for well under 6 figures. If you start mentally preparing yourself for the repair costs today, then in 5 years when they're affordable, you might be ready to own one. This one might be a big bet: the Maserati MC20. It's far newer and more expensive than the other two options right now, but the MC20 also offers a level of performance comparable to other Italian exotics. Maserati debuted this mid-engine coupe in September 2020. It has an exterior inspired by Formula 1 cars and an interior filled with rich leathers, Alcantara, and carbon fiber. It is a direct competitor to entry-level Ferraris and McLarens, with its industry-standard carbon fiber monocoque and a high-revving 3-liter V6 making 630 horsepower. All of this comes brand new at a cost of over $200,000. So what makes me think it might be cheaper in the future? Well, Maserati has historically been a brand with some of the worst value retention. While a typical supercar may lose 20 to 30% of its value in the first 5 years, a study found that Maseratis can lose over 70%. The brand is so infamous for their depreciation that some dealerships even advertise it as a potential tax deduction. Now, the MC20 could be insulated from this drop in value because it represents a spiritual successor to the MC12, one of the most highly revered and highly valued cars the brand has ever made. But then again, the Gran Turismo, a car which Maserati prices not that differently from the MC20, has already seen massive discounts on the secondary market. So it's not unreasonable to believe that, given the right conditions, used MC20s could become much more attainable than their peers during the next decade. If you disagree and think any of these cars won't depreciate any farther, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe.